get put planted.
Welcome to the show, No Filter, where nothing is off limits. We don't aim to offend, but if you get hit, oh fucking well. Tonight, we have a special guest. We got the Gabster in the studio with us. Say what's up, Gab.
What's that?
Gab will be speaking on behalf of all women, even if she doesn't want to. We don't really give a fuck if you disagree with Gabby, but Gabby is our fucking voice of opposition that we have been asking for. So if we say some next level outlandish shit and Gabby disagrees, then she disagrees for all y'all. But if she agrees, y'all bitches better get to working. Period, point blank. That's just how it works. And we also have, always in the studio with us, Mr. Mook and Kev. Say what up, y'all. Y'all know. Okay. Word. All right. Gab. This is the deal, right? This is what's up. We keep having these conversations about nuttin'-ass worthless bitches. Don't get me wrong. We think dudes is worthless too, but for the most part, it stems around bitches because we're men and we're having a conversation about relationships, and then we're like, oh, these bras don't do this and these bras don't do that. So now you have to speak for them, like honest to God truth. So we cover a wide range of topics, and you're just gonna get to change you get to flow with the topic whenever we're changing the topic, and then feel free to let us know if you think we're way off base, but realize that you do know who you're talking to. So
yeah.
At the end of the day, we're gonna jump into what was the one, Kev? The getting complacent shit. Bitches getting complacent in a relationship. Why the fuck do y'all do that? If you need an example, just let us know.
Yeah, elaborate. I need you to elaborate.
Who wants to take this? Is it me, Kev, or Mookie? Who's taking this one?
Go ahead, sir. You got it.
Okay.
Well, yeah, go for it.
Okay. Check it out, right? We had this conversation. It's like, you get those little cool memes and little cute memes and shit that bras be posting. They be like, yeah, whatever you do to get your girl is what you got to do to keep her. How come bitches don't do the same shit? Like when we first meet, everything is all great. It's like, oh, like you get to go out and I'm getting some pussy or I'm getting some head and you want to suck my dick in the car and you want to do all this other shit. Where does all that shit go once the relationship actually happens? And then bitches is mad because dudes is like, yo, I'm about to go somewhere else. I'm not really trying to fuck with your bullshit. Why is it like that?
Maybe because bitches feel like they already got you, so what's the point in doing all this stuff to keep it?
So are you saying that bitches don't realize that they can be ungotten? Like,
look, you told me that I was speaking on behalf of everybody. Now, if you want me to speak on behalf of me and my relationship, that's a totally different story.
Well, no, yeah, but at the end of the day, right? This is how it works. While you are speaking on behalf of women, you are basically the opposition of what we are. Because when we talk about it, we are always in total agreement with one another. So we're thinking to ourselves, like, we sit around, we say, we need to call someone who maybe opposes us in the sense.
Mm-hmm. But
if you don't oppose and you think bitches need to be doing what the fuck it is they need to do, then yeah, you can say that too, and then we'll gladly be like, hey, Gabby agrees with us, so fuck y'all. Y'all doing it.
What are you right? Bitches do me. I mean, how do you expect to keep someone if you're not gonna do what you did to get them in the first place? So, but that can go for both ways. Like, that goes for women and men.
Oh, no, we're firm believers and men need to do what the fuck it is they need to do. Like, we don't have a problem with that. I'm like, yo.
You sound like you want me to argue with you, but I'm not going to argue with you because I feel the same way you want to.
Hey, D, hold on. Hey, D, hold on. Because we have another guest that has just, we got another one. We got Shelly. That's the one. So, you want me to bring her in?
Yeah, if it's possible, do it.
All right, let's see what happens.
You know what? You're gonna have to.
No, I'm not gonna argue that.
No, you're gonna have to send Kevin the.
I think Shelly, we got you in here.
Yes, I'm on.
All right.
Mookie's got like 17 phone lines. He's like a play.
I'm that dude. I'm that guy.
I'm kind of jealous right now, Mook, just so you know.
I'm that dude right now. I'm that dude.
All right, look, Shelly. Yeah,
what's up?
Gabby, this is Shelly. Shelly, this is Gabby. Shelly.
Hey, how are you? Can you tell me how much that is?
Okay, this is what happened. This is what's happening right now. Mookie, explain what's happening.
All right.
All right, so as we stand right now, we're talking about relationships. We're talking about women that become complacent. Once they become complacent, once they get the man that they want, they become complacent. They stop doing the things that they did in the beginning of the relationship, and then they just stop caring. So what we're trying to get to is, why is that? We see all around.
You want me to tell you why? I can answer that, right? You don't even got to finish.
Oh, well, let me back up. Let me get my popcorn ready.
It happens because people rush into relationships with people they don't know. They only give you enough. People only have time to see the representative before they see the real person. It's never that she changed. You just didn't take the time to get to know who she really was. You date somebody for 6 months, y'all in a relationship, 6 months later, 6.5, a year later, y'all get married. This is the love of your life. You don't even know this damn person. You just like, yo, this seems like it's the right thing to do. It's good. It's cool. Either the sex is really good, or the man got a lot of money, or he has really good character, and he done charms you and won you over. And you don't have a reason to act any different at that point until you start to see who he is, and then you get to see who she really is. But nobody takes that time to do that. That's why that happens.
So are you saying that no one should get into a serious relationship with less than 6 months under their belt? Are you literally telling me that if we're fucking...
I am literally saying that, yes.
Oh,
yes. Because you don't know a person.
You know what?
Dating somebody.
I'm going to come in here.
I'm trying to get pissed off at him. I learn something about him new every day. So you don't know a person. Now he's starting to see a side of me he ain't never seen before. And he's like, you tripping. I'm not tripping. This is who I am. And this is what you brought out. What's up, baby? This is the part of me that you brought out that you didn't bring out before. Now it's that time. We 9 months in the game. Now you get to see who I really am, because now I'm seeing who you really are. It's a reaction. Either way it goes. Thank you. Whether it's a reaction to the woman getting complacent or whatever y'all call it, or a reaction to the man doing whatever. So people don't get the time to know each other. They just jump into shit.
Go, Kevin.
Either they just got out of a relationship that was fucked up, and now they even found somebody who was the love of their fucking life after 30 days.
I'm waiting on Kim.
And now you're right back in the same fucking situation.
I'm on like a PS4 right now. You are playing.
I am waiting.
No, but you know what? She made a very valid point, and actually the 6 month mark is very important. So one thing I do tell people is, it's something I call the 6 month front. Most people cannot outlive the front they're putting on for past 6 months. So that's actually a very good number, and that's actually one thing I do agree with. But the question that I have is, are you saying that they only do the stuff in the beginning that they later change because they have a different agenda, like you mentioned the money thing? So like, for example, if a woman's dating a guy that has a lot of money, she'll do the stuff in the beginning just to get to the point of maybe a relationship or marriage with him, and then stop because she reached the only goal that she had.
Well, not necessarily. It could be that, but not necessarily that. I just really think a lot of times is that you don't know the person that you're with. You think you know the person, but you don't know a person. You have not went through anything major with this person. Y'all ain't probably had no real life situations occur. Y'all probably haven't even talked about real life shit like, hey, do you want to have kids? Because I don't want to have kids, or I can't have kids. And this, that. It's all types of things that play a part that go wrong when you don't really know the person. Did you know this person was really this selfish that you found out they were when you moved in with them? No, you didn't know that because you ain't have shit to share with them. You didn't have to share anything with you. You don't know a person. You just hop into something with a person because in the beginning, everything is all good. It's a new person. It's all about the thrill of the chase. So both of y'all putting in extra efforts because trying to accomplish locking this person down for the most part, especially for a woman. That's all fuck we want, is to lock a nigga down. We just want to lock you like you. We want to lock this nigga down. So everybody's putting in an extra effort, and then now you get to real life shit like bills and kids and trust and this, that, or cleanliness or whatever the small shit is that we get into with our significant others about, and it all. I mean, the person might not watch it.
I can do what y'all saying.
So you don't know a person.
No, you know what? Other thing you say is, look, motherfuckers need to watch their balls in their ass. That's it. But look, everything you say is valid. 100%. Like, that's valid shit. Hey, cause you ain't trying to be around no musty balls. I can take it. You know what I'm saying? But my question is, right? My question here, though, right, is, well, okay, so here's my thing. But I'm a whole different person. Like, I'm cutting people off for me is easy. I'm just different, so I don't expect everyone else to be the same way I am. I can remove people in a second and forgot they existed. But my thing is, here's my question, because since you said you can't do that, that's amazing, right? So this is my question. So you say that people get complacent and all this stuff because they don't know the person. I agree 100%. I'm with you on that. The 6-month thing is a great number. But my thing is, once you get to the point where you start seeing all the negative stuff, and the stuff that makes you say, you know what, I'm not doing the stuff I did before because you're not what I thought. Why are you still there?
Okay, so I can answer that. One, I don't say 6-month rule. I think you should really date a person for a year before you commit to that person. That's what I think. I think you should get a little bit more serious with a person after 6 months, start spending a lot more time with that person, really trying to get to know that person. And hope and pray that real life shit happens between you and that person. The reason why most of us don't leave is because you're already emotionally attached to the person. You care about the person and or probably really do love the person that you thought that you were getting anyway. And some people don't have the ability to just let go like you. Some people are afraid to be alone. You feel what I'm saying? Especially when you get to our age range and above, it's kind of like, damn. You know, especially if you done already been through shit. Like, okay, I'm going to walk away from this person. Am I going to get the same thing again when I move on? Fuck it. What can you tolerate or what can you not? It's ultimately what you have to ask yourself, because you're not going to get a perfect person. So you have to know as an individual, you have to know yourself. And most of us don't know our damn selves or what the fuck we want. We have this fairy tale thought in our head that we're going to get the perfect woman, the perfect man. That shit does not exist. So you have to ask yourself, do the pros outweigh the cons? You know, do the pros outweigh the cons, and what's your deal breakers? Because it might just be little shit that you be like, whatever, I can deal with this, and then if it just keeps building up to your level of intolerance, then you need to walk away. But it's not easy for everybody. It's not easy for me to walk away. I can admit that. It's so hard for me to walk away when I really care about somebody. So, you know, I guess fear of being alone or don't want to hurt another person's feelings, or I don't know what it is. But
Gabby, you're surprisingly quiet.
I'm wondering what she has to say. I'm going to ask the question, what happens if someone puts on the front for longer than 6 months, but she answered it.
Okay. I mean,
yeah, I think a person can put on a show for longer than 6 months.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, but
most people get something that they want, so.
Okay, well, look, okay, look, entertain this, right? I'm the dude. I keep doing everything that I'm supposed to do. I keep doing everything that I said I was going to do, but you're different. You put on your front for your 6 months or your year, and then at the 1 year and 1 month mark, you decide you don't want to do none of the shit that you need to do. I am free to just kick you to the curb, right?
You don't do that for no reason.
You heard it.
I mean, I'm asking, like, I'm putting it out there.
You heard what he said.
Right, like, at the end of the day, like, if I'm who I say I am, like, beyond the shadow of a doubt, like, there is no question I'm absolutely who the fuck I said I was going in. And the moment you balk or show any type of inconsistency, I should be able, according to you, to boot you the fuck on. Because see, while I do understand your concept of being emotionally involved and liking a motherfucker, I like myself infinitely more. So I'm curious.
Okay.
How does that work?
So, yes, you can. You can do whatever you want to do. It's your right. You can kick that person to the curb as soon as they show you one side of anything that you don't like. If that's your choice, but please understand that every person that you come across is going to do something inconsistent at one point or another, or show you something about them that you don't like. So what are your deal breakers is the question you have to ask yourself. Otherwise, you're going to end up old and fucking alone and have to depend and hope and pray to God that your kids wipe your ass and you shit on yourself when you get old, because you're not going to have a fucking wife because you're looking for perfection and that shit does not exist. So what are your deal breakers? And if it's one of your deal breakers, then walk away.
Whoa.
Well, I'm hoping when I'm old, I'm not fucking alone. I'm hoping I got money and can, think this together and come fuck me. But
money doesn't make a difference on your happiness. So you want to be old and alone.
No, I'm talking about fucking. I ain't talking about being happy.
You said some really interesting shit. You said people looking for perfection. I didn't say anything about perfection. I said inconsistency. If you're consistently fucked up and I accept that, cool. But then when you show some other inconsistency that I'm not, like if you tell me, like, look at my face and tell me, look, I'm a liar, babe. You catch me up with some shit, I'm gonna lie to you about it. I'm like, all right, cool, that works. And then the next thing you know, you telling me some whole other shit that ain't got nothing to do with the lie part. You want some I'm fucked up with the bills, or I don't know how to fucking treat kids, or I don't know how to
cook. If you get to know that person, you will find out. If you get to know that person before you hop into a committed relationship with them, you will find out that they're not good with kids. You will find out that they are financially fucked up. You will find out that they don't know how to cook. You will find that shit out if you take your time. See, I've been judged, so to speak, right? I've been dating this guy for 9 months. We have not committed to each other. Now, I'm at the point to where I feel like, okay, I'm really feeling him. I'm starting close to him. He done really been there with me through some real life bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And that just made me even more emotionally attached to him. But I don't think we're ready to commit to each other yet. And it's to the point to where it's starting to become a problem because we do everything like we're committed, but we still not really ready to make that commitment because I learn some new shit about him every fucking day. And so, nothing that I don't feel like I can't live with at this point, but it's good to go through shit with a person and get to know them. And I've been knowing him for 8 years, but not knowing him on an intimate level. That's another thing we mix up. Oh, I've been knowing Mook for 17, 18 years. But I haven't been knowing him on a level of being intimately involved with him and being in a committed relationship with him. I've been knowing him as a friend and a friend only. So I don't know him on that type of level. So then you be like, oh, you know this person for 10 years. No, fuck you haven't. You've been knowing that person on a relationship dating level for the time that you started dating that person. You knew that person as somebody else. Not how they are as it pertains to a relationship or dating. So again, it all comes back to we don't get to know people ahead of time. And people can be like, how long you gonna do this and that with him before y'all commit? It ain't even been a year. What's the rush? Are we about to die? What's the rush to get to the finish line? Because then when you get to the finish line, then what? Then you find out some shit, you be like, man, I can't deal with this. Well, now you're in a relationship and it's harder to walk away.
All right, let me ask you, right? You just said, like, you said a bunch of shit, right? And that's what's up. You also said that you spoke to what I'm assuming are your fears of ending up alone and old and having to have somebody to wipe your ass and hope your kids
don't with you. No. I don't feel that I would ever end up alone because I know that at the end of the day, I'm a good woman. I don't have a fear that I end up alone. I'm just saying as an overall general statement. Why do people do the things that they do? Some people have a fear of being alone. Some people just get complacent in a relationship. Some people feel like, that 80-20 thing, it's only 20% whatever, I go find me somebody on the side to make up for the shit that my other person not doing. Because it feels so good in that person, so it's a reason. So it's various reasons why people just stay. You feel me?
Okay.
I think that the older I get, I learn that sometimes
rein it back in. That wasn't the entirety of the question. My question ultimately was, because you said it, I was assuming it spoke to your fears. If it doesn't, that's fine. You just said you in a relationship with a motherfucker for 9 months, and every day you find out some new shit that you ain't feeling. Why the fuck are you still with him?
No, I didn't say that I'm not feeling. I said I find out some new shit every day about him. I said nothing major that makes me be like, oh, I can't deal with him. It's just little small shit, like how he reacts when he gets stressed. If you've been dealing with somebody for 2 months, they might not have no damn stress. You don't get to see that. How he reacts when he's stressed is something totally new to me. And I'm like, damn, is this something I can deal with? Okay, cool. I'm learning how to deal with that because that's how he handles his stress. You know, it's little shit like that. How does he handle his stress? You know, when I first started kicking it with him, every time I went to his house, his fucking room was spotless. It was clean. After fucking 6 months, I go over there, it looked like a fucking pigsty. I didn't know that shit about him in the beginning. I thought he was super duper clean. You know,
good old clean it up when it comes over shit.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a good old, oh, she coming over to the real quick. That's the oldest trick in the book. Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? So he come to my house, he at my house watching dishes. 6, 7 months in the game, I go to your house and watch a fucking pigsty, you don't care. You feel me? So again, I learned something new about his ass every fucking day. It's not nothing that's just like super duper bad, like, oh, this nigga ain't shit. It's just shit that I learn about him every day. I learned that when he get mad, he don't want to talk about it. Just leave him the fuck alone. He don't want to talk about why he mad or he ain't looking for no sympathy. He holds shit in, this, that, that. I just learn new things about him all the time, and these are things that you don't get to experience with a person. And he learning new shit about me. He learning how I act when I go through something. When I get emotionally overwhelmed. He learning how I act, and he's having a hard time dealing with that because he's like, yo, you stressing about everything. You crying, you whining about everything. Well, I'm going through a lot of shit right now, and this is who I am when I get emotionally overwhelmed. He knows ways to deal with it or not deal with it.
So are you saying that?
I'm listening. This is great. Technical difficulty, so I'm glad y'all was all entertained and shit, but we're back in the conversation. Y'all go. Gabby said she got something to say. Say what you got to say, Gabby.
Alright, so after listening to what she just said, people get fucking complacent because they get fucking comfortable. So even she just said herself that like after like 6 months or whatever, she started going to his house and his room started looking like a pigsty. So he's not feeling like he needs to clean the fuck up anymore because he got the chick and he's seen how like he lives. So now he's just like, oh, what the fuck ever. Like I don't gotta do this anymore. I already got her. So that's like the perfect example. What?
I'm just listening. This is y'all podcast today. This shit is great.
So it fucking makes sense. She just said it herself. Like set the perfect fucking example to why people get complacent. Okay. So what were your thoughts on that? Because we didn't hear what you said. You didn't hear what I said?
No. Wait, look, there was some technical difficulties that I had to bring everybody up to speed.
The IT person.
Wait, I had to. Wait, because D started the podcast and they weren't on the line yet, and I was like, hold on, but he started talking, so I had to get back into the other side, and I had to bring them up to speed. And then you know what? I'll end this whole damn thing right now, and everybody, nobody, fucking podcast. Do it. I bet you won't do it. Let me see that shit happen. Oh my goodness! I'm calling bluff today. What's up? You calling bluff? You want to do this? I'll end it.
Don't do it.
Hey, we can tango.
Don't do it.
Yeah, but I'll go ahead. I'm good. I'm gonna be chill. Y'all go ahead. I got it.
Okay, so what I said was
Whoa.
On the little next episode.
That was a breaking out. Hold on.
Just so y'all know, there is lots of beer happening right now.
oh my goodness.
man, that was great. Okay, so we clearly have outlined the complacency thing. That's great, right? It's wonderful. What's up with the attitude? Like the I can do what I say, and I'll say I'm going to do it, but I don't do it. So when you do some fuck shit, we're going to argue about your response to my fuck shit. How does that work?
Wait, what?
Okay.
Yeah, you have to say that. You're going to do something.
Right?
You say you're going to do something, you don't do it.
Listen, this is some typical shit, just so you know. Like, it's really typical. I do some shit in response to something you do I don't like. This is not a real life scenario. I'm going to use this one because it's a simple one to use. Say a dude slides up in your inbox, right? And I'm upset that he slid in your inbox and you didn't curb him fast enough. And then you don't like my response. So the only thing we're going to argue about is my response. How does that work?
That's a good one. Okay. First of all, I'm gonna tell you right now that you're acting like a damn child that you're mad about some shit somebody said to me in my inbox because I don't control what another person says. Okay, so if we arguing about social media, I'm not even about to argue with you about social media. Number one, why are you in my inbox? I'm not about to argue everything at all, but I can do it. And you shouldn't even be confronting me about something so ridiculous. Now, I think that people that social media, I think the whole social media thing is just ridiculous in itself. But, again, at the end of the day, if you take time to go through shit, you will get... You will get to go through some of these things and see certain signs and symptoms before you commit to them. Sometimes you take more fucking time. So you knew that she had niggas in her inbox before you committed to her. You thought that shit was just gonna magically change all of a sudden.
See,
you knew that.
You're not answering the actual question, though.
I mean,
listen to the
actual question is, why did she flip the script on you, so to speak? Right?
No.
Number one.
Listen.
Why you reacting?
It's not possible to flip the script.
Ridiculous.
You know, listen. We're not talking about flipping the script. We're literally saying you did some shit that I disagree with. Like, okay, you want to go to lunch with, but look, move away from social media. You go to lunch with your coworker that is a dude, and I don't fuck with dudes. So I'm supposed to be okay with that. Listen, and what I'm saying. Listen, you're not answering the question. You can't answer the question if the question ain't finished. So if you go to lunch with the dude, and then I have a bad response, why are we arguing about the response? That's the question.
I just told you that we're arguing about the response. Because I'm so glad you said that, because I have that. Me and my boss are friends. Oh, boy, he can't stand it. He don't like it. But I still hang out with my boss sometimes. Now, in the beginning, I was honest with the nigga. Yo, what you doing? Oh, I'm with my boss. We hanging out. Then he had a response like this thing. And then I got mad at his response because, first of all, why are you about some shit like that? This is my friend, number one. Number two, does that mean you don't trust me? Or are you just controlling? Or are you that insecure? So that's why we're arguing. Today I'm going to blow up. You don't pick and choose my friend for me. Now, if you still trust me, you don't need to deal with me.
So what you saying is,
you're going to do whatever the fuck you want to do anyway.
So what if it's a person, right, that your partner who you committed to does not like? Do you still choose to say, well,
why you don't?
I'm going to go to lunch with him? And I'm not going to make up a reason why, because I can find all kinds of reasons why. Maybe they know each other and they got beef. You know, I'm just saying, just for whatever reason, because there's no
specific. Each other and they got beef. It's a reason. For example, the reason that my person doesn't want me hanging out with my person is because. You listen. This is
Exactly. My kids go there.
But at the end of the day, we're really, really good friends, and he has an issue with our friendship. Now, it would be different if it was somebody. Because unfortunately, I got to ride for my man. You feel me? That means that you're not a friend to me if you're having a beef with my dude. That's totally different stuff. We're talking about just a typical, basically what I call insecure bullshit. You have a problem with me hanging out with this person or going to lunch with this person who's my coworker because they're somebody of the opposite sex.
So what you're saying is, a coworker that's a girl and she could be licking my pussy and you don't even know it. But you're okay with it because it's a like, is this still like, so is this hypothetical or is this shit really going on? I mean, I gotta know that.
That's what I'm saying. That you would have a problem with because it's somebody of the opposite sex. You personally know this person and personally have something against this person other than me. You get what I'm saying? You have a problem.
Ain't that all the reason you need though? Like,
no.
So what you're saying is, so wait, hold up. Okay, but either way, okay, but don't nobody think like that. Okay, listen, Linda, I think what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Yes, there is a level of jealousy, but at the end of the day, you have to look at it from both sides of it. If you see your dude on the phone always texting a certain female, like all the time, is that not going to hurt your nerves? Is that not going to get under your That's going to fuck with you. Just like on the same spectrum as he feel like there's a reason why he don't like that dude. There's a reason why men don't like other men. Because you know why? Because men know what other men do.
The reason is the girl. The reason is the girl.
And we know what men do, just like women know what women do.
It doesn't matter.
The way I see it is if you don't want him doing it to you, then don't do it to him.
Bravo!
Wait, if you have a friend that's a female that was your friend before me, who y'all are just absolute friends, and you and this person have built a friendship,
No.
not to be friends with that person.
If you done lay with that person, if you done, well, look, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not keeping that friendship because that's why I talked to her. So I want to keep that friendship. I wouldn't keep that friendship around. I wouldn't keep her. She gotta go because that's why I talked to her, and I would do it again. So she gotta go.
Again, it's about being insecure. It's weak.
Oh no,
right?
I don't care who I talk to. You can hear me. I just can't text her. I don't give a fuck. Honestly, I'm not off in the inbox. I don't care.
So
I'm just saying, like, I'm David Gordon. My people gotta go. That's all I'm saying from my perspective. Because I fucked them. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Let me ask a question. Kev, listen, are you saying that you respect your mate enough to be considerate of their fucking feelings?
I'm not saying that, but I'm a stand-up guy and I'm honest.
Right.
So I'm not necessarily for the feelings, but because I'm an honest guy, I'm gonna respect what we have enough to be like, look, these kids gotta go because I know either I want to fuck them or I have them.
Okay.
So they got to go.
They're not your friends, though. That's not a friend. That's not a real friend at all.
Oh, I'm not saying having real female friends. I'm just saying my perspective.
No, I'm talking about a real friend of the opposite sex.
I got real friends up.
And my friend of me hanging out with this person or whatever because they're somebody of the opposite sex.
They're real people. They're real people. I'm done. I quit. I'm done.
Time out. Because I'm about to hit you with this real talk, okay? So let's go back to the person that I'm dating. Off the whip, I give a breakdown. I have some guy friends that ain't never going nowhere. I'm just letting you know this right now. One of those guy friends happens to be Chris. One of those guy friends happens to be my boss. And then I have another guy friend. These people are like family to me. Now, if you can't respect the bond and friendship because they have earned my friendship and they have been beyond loyal to me, then I'm sorry. We can't be together. Because one, you're going into it without no trust. And these people ain't going nowhere because at the end of the day, I hate to say this, but a relationship and a marriage is supposed to be sacred and it's supposed to be this and that. But guess who won't be there for that shoulder for you to cry on when that motherfucker done came and went? That friend that you done dismissed for that jealous ass, insecure motherfucker. I will never do it. And if you put me in a situation to choose between you and a guy friend that's truly just my friend, I'm going to choose my guy friend because that tells me you're not the right person for me. Period. You should never make a person make that choice if this is truly their friend. And you will know it's truly their friend because I can bring man twice a things if I want to, and it's not a problem, and we can all hang out and kick it. Now, if I'm hiding you and I'm hanging out with you on the fly and I'm being dishonest, you got something to worry about. But if it's all out in the open and I can let you know, yo, I'm going to kick it with Chris, or Chris come to town, I can introduce you to Chris and we can all hang out, you should know that this is really truly my friend. And it's because I don't pick a relationship over
Mookie.
that.
Mookie.
Yeah.
Are you listening?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Are you ready for this, Mookie?
Alright, so what if I
Shelly, listen. Just listen.
Somebody don't like
Listen, Shelly. Just listen. Mookie, are you ready?
I'm ready.
You've seen Monsters Ball, right?
Yes, I have.
If Shelly came to you and said, make you feel good, would you fuck her?
Oh my God. Fuck yeah.
and that's why you need to respect your boys. That's the reason why, right there. That's the reason. That is the reason you should respect what this nigga is telling you.
I couldn't lie.
But on the flip side of that, what if I have a female friend and I say, I need you to make me feel good, I'll eat my pussy. What do you have a problem with that? You should not a female. You can always tell me this guy. It's 2017. People be gay, bisexual, whatever the fuck. Nobody worries about the person of the same sex, which sometimes you probably need to be opposite sex. Because if you and fucking Joey hanging out all the time, I'm gonna have to question that shit. If that's the homeboy.
So if all this stuff you're saying is true, then how come so many women despise their men having female friends? Because I know plenty of women who despise the idea of it.
They're insecure. Okay. They're insecure. And sometimes
you're saying both are wrong.
There's a reason to be insecure.
So you're saying both sides of the parties are wrong then if they both can't accept them having friends of the opposite sex. Okay, I just want to verify.
Right, you should not be like, you can't have a friend or opposite sex. We all know what could happen, but either you trust me or you don't. And then you know how long that me and Chris been friends, so you think if old boy told me to choose between him or Chris, what you think I would do? Choose Chris every time. What the fuck? That makes no sense. You are a fucking controlling, insecure asshole. Why would I want to spend my life with you? You already don't trust me. Just because somebody got a penis and they're my friend, that's ridiculous. So that's why the argument will turn back on you and I'll be going off on you about your reaction. Because I'm going to tell you that you need to sit your insecure ass down or pack your shit and get the fuck on because clearly you don't trust me and we can't do nothing without any trust.
Maybe he don't trust Mookie.
It doesn't matter.
No, this isn't about me. This isn't about me. It is now.
Because the guy don't owe you the woman or the other person don't owe you nothing. Only the person you're in a relationship with owe you anything. They don't owe you shit. They don't even really know you. You wouldn't even know them if it wasn't for your person you're in a relationship with. They don't owe you no respect. no loyalty, no none of that. The person you with owes you that. So if the person you're with is disrespecting you with his friend, then ultimately your problem should not be with the friend. Your problem should be with the disrespect that they're presenting to you with this so-called friend.
So basically,
but again, if you take time to know a person, you'll know if this person is really a friend or not. You just fucking commit to somebody after 90 days, you don't know shit.
What you literally just said is, with confirmation that if you was crawling across the floor with a bird cage in the background saying, make me feel good, knowing Mookie would fuck this shit out of you, your boyfriend should be okay with that. That's what you're saying.
He should be okay with him being my friend because Chris was my friend before him, and he'll be my friend after him. Even if he dies, and that's why we're not together no more.
You know what? I'm gonna have to ask everybody to leave me out of this. I'm just gonna have to stop.
I'm just saying, I wouldn't, and I just wouldn't. I would not do that. I have never told a guy that I was with that he couldn't have friends of the opposite sex until I found out that he was currently fucking that friend. Then I knew that was not your friend. That's somebody that you're fucking. That's not a friend.
What if they fucked them before, but not on a regular basis? A couple times here and here. Because they did
before and they stopped. You know what? Yes. I had that situation. I fucked one of my friends before. We ain't fucked in 4 years. Who cares? If we ain't fucked in 4 years, why would I decide to fuck him now and I'm in a relationship with somebody?
Because he's available.
No, we have fucked each other for...
Because it's obviously, and you know how it is. Like, a lot of times people don't cheat with people because it's risky because they don't know if it's good or not. But if they know it is good because they fucked before, it's easy to go back to that whenever they're feeling emotional and they have a significant other. Like, oh, you know what? He got some good shit. Let me go through that real quick because I'm mad at my boo.
No. That is all bullshit. That's excuses, man.
That's not bullshit. That's not bullshit. That shit happens in real life. I'm not saying you'll do that, but that happens in real life.
Oh. It do happen in real life. If they want to fuck somebody else, guess what? They gonna fuck somebody else, whether it's the old person or the new person. I understand you saying the comfortableness because you already been there and done that, but are you telling me that, I mean, come on now, that can happen with anybody.
It's
so at the end of the day,
likely to happen with somebody you comfortable with that you done already got your box stroked the fuck out back. It's just a fact. That's the fact that it matters.
Do you trust me or do you not?
Well, maybe they trust logical you, but they don't trust emotional thinker you, right? Because people, like I said earlier, people tend to think differently when they're thinking emotional versus logical. So sometimes,
you know how I am emotionally as it pertains to that? Have you gotten to know me enough to know how I will react in that type of situation?
Well, we're not talking about you in general. You just make it about you. I'm just saying in general.
No. I'm not making it about me. I'm saying, when I say, we're saying, have you gotten to know that person to know how they will react emotionally to know whether they will do that or not, or you just been jumping? Because at the end of the day, it's all about knowing your person. I'm with you on that. Some people, when they get stressed out, they like to fuck. So if you with a person that every time they get stressed out, they want to fuck. And so if you piss them off and they stress out and they upset, it's a chance that they might just go fuck that friend that they've been knowing for years because that's how they deal with their stress, or that's how they do. Some people are like that.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I find a chick that gets mad and sad and wants to fuck 22. I got a ring ready. Cause I'm like, bro, we'll be fighting every day. Oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? I got a present for you. Just put my dick in the face.
When they stress, they like to have sex. You know what I'm saying?
Oh shit, I know all about that. Look, I'm happy, sad, blue, green, whatever. I'm ready. So I'm with you on that. But that's dope.
So at the end of the day, it's about trust, and you shouldn't be in a relationship if you can't trust somebody. I mean, we know what could happen. So what? That is ridiculous that you tell me I can't have a friend of the opposite sex. That is the most ridiculous thing. I never understood that about people. Because that's what made people sneak behind their significant other back because they feel like, oh, this person. That's why you end up never meeting a friend. That's why you
I'm gonna tell you a secret.
hiding a friend and all of that shit. And it's just a fucking thing. You shouldn't have to do all of that. Because you're worried about the person you with don't think. This is my friend. Deal with it or don't deal with it. Like I said, I gave that disclosure a long time ago.
Most people understand this or think this way because most of them have been on one side of the equation, usually the other side, right? But most people, like a lot of dudes who get jealous because of like one thing about on a guy, it's because he was fucking some chick, and that was kind of what they was doing. So people be a little bit more cautious. That's why they do that because they've been a part of that scenario before, but it's starting to feel a little.
I think probably all of
deja vu, you know what I'm saying? That's all that is. Just like sex, you know what I'm saying? That's why people get jealous. That's why people get jealous.
That's your own insecurity, because you don't trust yourself, but that means you don't trust me.
Hey, I'm with you. I trust you, don't worry. I trust you, girl.
So, to me, that's one of the why even sweat that? Why even come at your mate about, sit back and observe. This your friend, okay, cool. Let me sit back and observe this shit. Let me see how this shit play out before you start saying, oh, you can't be that nigga friend because he a nigga. So,
man, look. I'm going to tell you something, man. This chick one time, this chick told me some shit. Look, they can have me happy as a motherfucker. She was like, you know what? Sometimes women need to shut up, sit back, and watch their man. I was like, oh, I was humbled. I was like, oh my goodness. That shit was amazing because it's so true. But people don't do that. You're right with that. People don't do that. And that goes for both parties, by the way. So, Mookie, shut up and observe your girl. You know what I'm saying? I got your back. Never.
You know what I'm saying? No, you gotta be able to feel a person's, and I'm still learning that. You gotta be able to feel a person's energy. Like, you know, when you walk in the fucking house and your girl gonna be tripping that day, as soon as you say hey to her, or as soon as you make that first call to her, like, oh, she in bitch mode today, let me just chill out. Let me just fucking chill out. Don't come with the bullshit about who you went to lunch with today. It don't fucking matter. You should learn people's energies and they vibe, but again, that all comes with getting to know a person. More than likely, they're more comfortable with that friend. You know why? Because they know that friend. They built a friendship with that friend. They know that friend. They've been dealing with that friend longer. They've been dealing with some new ass who's trying to come into the picture and tell me what the fuck I can do and not do. So then that makes
that's right, because I'm like, turn to your ass.
All right, I'll say this, right? That all of that shit's all on the side. I guess that will speak to however the shit unfolds in each and every one of our individual endeavors as life goes on. But the cheating thing, let's discuss cheating. Okay, let's outline cheating, right? Cheating means getting an unfair advantage to similar goals, right? Now, I don't use the word, right? Because personally, I don't think it applies to fucking relationships. But I hear people use the word all the time. What's y'all take on cheating, per se?
I mean, like, I don't understand the question. I mean, if I'm single and the shorty's in a relationship and she's coming at me, I'm a fucker who's bad because she got to fuck somebody else. But I'm not going to pursue her. You know what I'm saying? I'm keeping it on it.
Well, Kev,
is that what you're asking? Because that's my answer.
Kevin, we're not talking to you.
Wait, what did you say?
We're talking to the women, Kevin. We're talking to the women. We're not talking.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So you're saying what does cheating consist of?
Listen. This is how cheating is defined. To receive an unfair advantage to achieve or attain the same goal. So I don't understand how it applies necessarily to relationships because
what about
your goal in a relationship may
be different than my goal.
What'd you say?
Right. Tell me the definition of infidelity then, since you don't like the word cheating.
Oh, no. See, I'm cool with the infidelity word. I'm talking about cheating because everybody uses it so fucking frequently, so that's what I'm talking about. Infidelity is infidelity. We know that. Like, that's not a secret.
Okay.
I will use the proper I'm quick to use the proper definitions of words. So when I'm talking about cheating,
so what you're basically saying is it's the wrong word
No, I'm not saying it's the wrong word. I'm saying that when women want to throw a motherfucker under the bus for quote end quote cheating, let's have that discussion because I have a philosophy that women always cheat first.
Women always cheat first?
Yeah.
Is that because they're emotional cheating and usually they get emotionally attached before they actually physically cheat?
Well, it's not that simple, but I would like them to try to go ham, and I would appreciate it because personally, listen, we us three, me, Mookie, and Kevin have all had this discussion. We are clearly in some form of agreement on this particular topic. Women typically have certain goals in a relationship. Those goals are supposed to be met by the mate. And what typically happens is they are met by someone else. And if your primary goal is being met by somebody else, and then I take my primary goal or my top 3 goals and have them met by somebody else, technically you cheated first.
I can't come out with it. Okay, first of all.
You can say it's going to be right.
First of all, that means someone's in trouble. Go ahead. First of all.
Okay, so first of all, you're making an assumption that the woman cheated first.
Oh no, listen. This is not an assumption.
No. You missed the point.
This is proof positive, factual information, and there ain't a bitch alive on the planet that can argue with it.
Boom. Just got real.
That ain't true.
Okay, let me ask you a question, right? You have a problem with your dude. You have a problem with some shit that he do. Who do you talk to about it? Who do you talk to about it with? Like, who's your first conversation?
You shut your bloody mouth. You shut your hole. Don't you?
I mean, because like literally, like typically when you
I have 2 people. I have 2 people that I call first.
Okay, so listen, if women's primary goal in most relationships is security, communication, and someone to listen to, you have effectively cheated because those are your primary goals in a relationship. You didn't take it to the motherfucker.
That means when it's a man working.
I mean, look. This is.
Let me tell you why people don't take it to the person.
Factual information. This is nothing that can really be argued. This is just I would like to hear someone else's perspective because there are actual people who show this. Men's goals in a relationship are different than women's. If there are 10 things, if you reverse the order, then you will see. If women have 10 things listed, the men's goals are typically in reverse. So if my top 3 are one thing and your top 3 is another thing, if you go to get your top 3 met somewhere else, I am fair game to go get my top 3 met somewhere else as well.
Okay. So a couple things. First thing is that a lot of times you don't bring it that you try to bring to your mate and you cannot communicate with that person. No matter what, men think more emotional and women think more emotional. And oftentimes people don't come to a place where they can actually have an adult, mature conversation about their problems and experiences. And be like, oh, she's just being emotional, she's nagging me, I don't want to hear that shit. So, somebody else that you just want to vent. So, no matter who that person is, apparently you feel that you can't communicate with your significant other. The other thing is that you probably, yet again, don't know that person because you wish to, because you should know what your primary goals are before you commit to. You know, you can't meet those expectations or those goals, or y'all don't share any of the same common goals, y'all should not even be dealing with each other.
Okay, listen. I need you to understand. You're talking in the hypothetical. What I'm telling you is there's science behind this. Men's goals and women's goals. Listen, stop talking and listen. If there are 10 goals, each of those goals are the primary goals of all relationships, period. The top 5. The top 5 for women are the bottom 5 for men. Which means the bottom 5, like you're like, name 5 things. Listen, stop. Name 5 things you want in your relationship from your mate.
Support, loyalty, commitment, a good sex life. That has to be one of them. And communication and respect. That's 6. I just named 6 of my top 6. I don't care about none of that other shit.
No, you care about the other shit because listen, the other shit on the list is shit like child rearing and financial stability. Like it's really a list. This is not no shit that I just made up. This is fucking science. You can't really argue with that. Right. Okay. So notice the first 3 things you said had nothing to do with sex. But sex is typically number 1 or 2 on all men's list.
Hey, it's all that in mind. Everything else I don't care about.
Like this is
that's all.
So when you meet your significant other, do you think that people will have better relationships if they actually took the time to discuss that when you're dating somebody?
I'm talking about that. I'm talking about cheating. You want some whole other shit right now. I'm talking about
literally. No, that's what I'm saying.
No. Listen, you're not saying nothing because you're not answering the question. At the end of the day, if your primary needs are being met from someone else, and it's not your mate, and then he go gets his primary needs met by someone else, who fucking cheated first? Whoever got their primary needs met by another person.
It's your fault.
Well, how the fuck is it? We talking about fault. We talking about fault.
Because we should have to go get our primary needs met by somebody else.
How about you? Listen, this is.
Hold on, let me finish. If my man's primary one goal is fuck is sex, if I can't give him that to the point where he feel like he got to go out and get it from somewhere else, then he shouldn't be with me. I tell men that shit all the time. I get so sick and tired of niggas telling me about how women don't fuck them enough. Nigga, first of all, how much is she fucking you before you decided to commit to her? Number 2, did you tell her that she was very important to you, sex all the motherfucking time? Did you tell her you like to fuck every day?
Once again, listen, you're flying off on a tangent. Listen, this is what you're doing. This is what you're doing. You're flying off on a tangent to prove your point while not answering the actual fucking question. You just said, literally, listen, you just said earlier in the conversation, you have friends that are going to always be more important that you will rely on and talk to instead of your man. Bullshit. That's what the fuck you outright did. You said there's a nigga in the world that wants to fuck you, that would fuck this shit out of you if given the chance, but you don't give a fuck if your man has a problem with him. That is outright what you said. You can't argue with that. You'll get to listen. You'll get to listen to it and get played back. That's what you said.
I'm done.
So, with that being said, you have already confirmed that you are all about having your primary needs met by someone else. That's literally what you said.
That just means that person is my friend.
No, that's not. Listen, you're not. Listen, you're on some other shit. You said you have primary needs. You will allow and keep allowing those primary needs that you have in a relationship getting met by another individual, thereby not giving the individual you're in a relationship with the chance to do it because you already have it getting done. That's what you said. You took an hour to fucking say it. That's exactly what you said.
We give everybody a chance to do it. You choose.
That's what you said.
May the best man win. Shit, I don't know. I mean, what you want me to say?
I'm gonna need this podcast deleted.
You give everybody a chance to meet to do that. When you enter into something with somebody you choose not to.
Listen, you don't, because 30 minutes ago you said you ain't giving no nigga no chance that's trying to tell you to get rid of your friends. You said that.
I'm not about to get rid of my friends. So first of all, a friend is
I'm done.
who earn that name. I don't care what you say. Like, no, I don't get rid of my friends for relationships. Whether it's a male or female.
I'm not saying you got to get rid of nobody. What I'm saying is, in the concept of
a man will always fuck a woman. We know that.
Okay, listen,
it doesn't always be the case.
You can bring in whatever you want to bring in. Totally focused on the idea of the concept of cheating. Women always cheat first. Period. You confirmed it.
Not true. Some women don't have no boyfriends that they
Okay, listen, stop talking. Listen, Gabby. Do you have a rebuttal? That's what I want to know. Do you have a valid? Because as people listen to the podcast and they get to this point, they're going to be like, oh, she's crazy as hell. She just talked an hour about doing it. So, Gabby, do you have a rebuttal?
To what? To what you said?
To what I'm saying.
Sure don't.
We don't even want that problem. He was like, nope. I was like, nope, I don't want that problem. I'm good. I just didn't agree with what's going on right now. I'm good.
That's true, though.
Look, it's not a matter if you think it's true. It's just simple. Like, this is what you're saying. You're saying there's facts and then there's your opinion. Then listen, there's facts and then there's your opinion. It takes facts. You literally spoke for 45 minutes about being a cheater first. So if your nigga, no matter when you get him, no matter when you get him, he decides, you know what? Her friends are more important than me. So I'm going to go get me some pussy so she can talk to me on the phone.
I never said they're more important.
No,
I never said
you in this. Like, stop using me as a reference.
Okay, I'm sorry. Look, I'll stop using you as a reference, Mook. Okay?
I'm not done yet. Mookie, how's it feel to be number one in her life?
That's a reference.
What?
Burn!
Wait, what?
And I hardly ever talk to me, but if somebody sees me, him inbox me like, yo, what's up, how you doing? And you got a problem with that, I'm going to say there's something wrong with you. This is my friend who's been knowing me since I was 16 years old. Now, come on, let's be real here. It doesn't mean that I go to this person all the time, every day, and I talk to this person more than I talk to my man, or I'm going to choose to hang out with this person before I hang out with my man. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you're not going to sit here and tell me I can only have friends of the same sex.
Well, okay, listen, side note.
That's ridiculous.
Side note, whoever ever listens to this, if y'all got a problem with me sliding in Shelly's inbox, y'all let me know, because I'll piss in your face. I don't care.
Okay, my point exactly. Like,
that just happened.
so the point is
That just happened.
I'm just gonna put it out there. Right? You can be whatever you want to do. But listen, I'm also respectful enough of the situation you're in to understand that your dude could have a problem, so I would be backing the fuck off. Like if I talk to you every month, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I got this new boyfriend, and he's the shit, but he's paranoid and insecure. I'm not gonna fucking fuck with his insecurities because I'm really your homie. Like you're my homie. So I'm not gonna do that to you. That's just a fact. And then you get like we still gonna be cool after the fact. Like so, once your relationship is all fucked up because you decided you wanted to cheat on him another way, then I'll still be here because I'm really your homie.
So my ex used to be like that where he didn't want me, but he didn't want me to be friends with nobody. He didn't care if he was a girl or a guy. He was just insecure and wanted control. So, you know, that's
I just knew that women can go with the box too. So, you know, he was like, nah, we're not playing that game either. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he didn't want me to be friends with nobody. He wanted to be able to have complete control. So it depends on that person, your significant one. Do you know your person? That is, again, do you know your person? To me, that's just a complete sign of insecurity. Your insecurities are your insecurities. I don't have shit. It's like what men say about women. When a woman be like, well, he made me have low self-esteem. No, bitch, it's esteem of yourself. Do you, like you said, you love yourself more than you love anybody else. So, if you insecure, that's your fault you're insecure. You need to fix your own fucking insecurities. You shouldn't have to worry about that.
It's a scheme to get
don't worry about it. It is. You don't like you. How can I? If I don't like you, how am I supposed to expect somebody else to like me? I don't even like my damn. I mean, you get what I'm saying? So if you're insecure, why are you insecure? What is the problem? Why would you have a problem with your mate talking to somebody of the opposite sex? Do you understand how ridiculous that sounds?
I mean, I was decidedly quiet. I don't give a fuck. Talk to who you want to talk to. The problem is when I express that my fucking 2 is your 10, feel free. Like they slide in your inbox, I'm sliding in another bitch's box. Keeping it fucking pushing.
You're being petty.
That's not petty. If it is, fuck it, I'm King Petty out this motherfucker. Just put a KP on my chest.
It's not be petty is a good thing. So D, if you're petty, you're in now, because being petty is dope now.
No, let's be totally honest, right? I say that type of shit in jest, but be totally honest. If you're taking the time to entertain a motherfucker in your inbox or in your text messages or whatever, you have to consider who you're actually with. Because let's take Kev. We're going to use Kev as an example. Because Kev is my guy.
Thank you.
Right? Like, we're going to use Kev as an example. Kev gets in a relationship. Shorty is like, cool, we're a year into the relationship now. Kev is a year into this relationship. Shorty's like, yeah, you my dude, and everything is hunky-dory, and this shit is great. So she got dudes sliding in her inbox and all up in her text messages. Kev is like, yo, I'm not insecure, but I really need you to recognize that you might want to fucking relax on that shit. And she's like, well, they're my friends. And then Kev is like, listen, I have to explain this to you. Bitches throw me pussy like it's okay. Like, I turn down more pussy than most people get. And then she's like, whatever. And then Kev's like, well, I'm not all about being in a bitch's inbox. So when bitches want to throw me pussy, since her whatever says whatever, Kev's whatever is whatever too. So just because your level isn't as high as his level, you can't really be mad at that because you disrespected everything he already told you. He told you outright. Don't you let people slide in your inbox. I'm going to go do, like the hoes that slide in my inbox are throwing me pussy. You're missing that. Like, if he's telling you that, like, listen, bitches hit me up like, yo, I just want to fuck you. I don't want to know you. I don't even want to know your real name. I just want to fuck you. And you're in your inbox talking about, oh, my dude and me is having an argument, and he's like, babe, why you always talking to this motherfucker in your shit? And you like, I'm talking to whoever the fuck I want. So then, at that point, Kev can go fuck whoever the fuck he wants.
It's free in there.
Right.
Okay, so
it's not about being petty. This is not about being petty. You're literally doing the identical thing.
No. So if you express your concerns, no, I'm just saying, if you express your concerns, I'm going to respect your concerns.
You just spent 45 minutes saying that.
No. I don't get rid of my friend. I don't. I did not get rid of my friend that he has an issue with, but he's going to accept it. That's what I'm saying. Because he knows now that I done went through some real shit, some real life, for real shit that he's been there with me through, and that his friend has also been there through, that this person is really truly just her friend, yo. And I can't do shit but respect that. He might not like it, but he gotta respect it. Now, I don't hang out with this nigga all the time or talk to. I don't even never talk on the phone. We probably text each other. We only talk on the phone with each other sometimes because we have to. But we might text each other every blue moon. And it ain't never nothing that's inappropriate. So
how come he might not like that and he has to respect it, but you can't not like the fact that you can't speak to your friends, but you can't respect him?
No.
Yeah, respect goes both ways.
That sounds selfish.
No. I have toned down.
How is it not selfish?
How is it selfish? If he has
you're not gonna like it. You're not gonna like it, but I'm not gonna do something because I'm not gonna like it. But you have to respect that. That's selfish. That's exactly what you're saying.
No, that's not what I said.
Actually,
What I
that is
said
what you
was that. No, I didn't.
That may not be what you meant to say, but it's absolutely what you said.
So if I'm in a relationship with a guy and he has a female friend, okay? One, if this person is really truly your friend and you talk to this person every day, I might have a problem with you talking to her every day. You talk to this person every blue moon, that's something different. If you decide to talk to that person about some relationship issues that we having because apparently you feel that you can't come to me and talk to me about it and you want some advice or that person's opinion, then that's fine. But if you keep it at a level of friendship, I would not have a problem with that.
Okay, let me outline this for you, right? And I get what you're saying. It makes perfect sense in your scenario. But ultimately what you're saying is, I find something important, so I think it's important to you as well. But what if that's not what's important to him?
Why are y'all even arguing about this? If you're going to be with someone, then why not be with someone where y'all have the same fucking standard? So, as an example, if I have a friend that I talk to every day, then you have a friend that he can talk to every day, and then it's on the same fucking level.
Gabby, that
Why does
sounds
it have to
wonderful.
be, oh, your top three is different than my top three?
You know what? It sounds wonderful.
Because people, it's never going to be like that because people are individuals and people don't think the same. But at the end of the day, if you have a female friend and she wants, because listen, check this out. Sometimes women, we are emotional. So it's always good to have a good guy friend that you can be straight up honest with and talk to him about the whole fucking scenario. Because again, Chris, I'm sorry, I'm going to go back. But when
Jesus.
When I talk to Chris about shit and I'm wrong, he tells me, yo, you're wrong. This nigga's not thinking like that. This is how he's thinking, and this is what you did. Now, this is what you need to do to fix the shit, or you might run this nigga off. So, sometimes you go into that guy because he's a fucking guy, and you're not, and he can tell you better how your guy is thinking as to maybe why you can't communicate with your guy, because maybe it is your fault.
You know what would be better than having a guy friend that you got it with?
I have to ask you this question.
Like,
I have to ask you this question. You just said if your dude says something to you, you have to confirm it with another dude to believe what your dude originally told you.
You never.
I'm just asking the question. You're saying.
Yes. Yeah, you want to hear another person's perspective, yes.
Okay.
You want to hear their perspective, not to say that they valid. Because if I still don't agree with Chris, I'm going to still tell Chris I still don't agree with that shit. I feel that I'm right.
I mean, that's true, but I want you to. You have to really listen to what you're saying. You're saying my guy, who I'm trying to learn, who I want to communicate with, who I plan on spending however many years with, has told me something. But I can't take his word for it. I have to confirm it with a whole nother person to tell me exactly what he already told me, thereby meaning you just don't respect what the fuck your dude is telling you.
Why do people go see a therapist?
Because they don't have motorcycles. Because they don't have motorcycles. Fuck, I don't know.
Because they don't drink cognac,
right? I mean, because I'm good.
That's all you somebody and talk to somebody for them to tell you some shit that you already know about yourself. But hearing it from the other person opens up your mind, because this is a person who doesn't have they're not even emotionally tied to the situation. So it's not that you need that person that you don't respect your person. It's hearing an outside person's point of view who does not have no emotional ties to that situation. Because again, when you're in a relationship with somebody, there's all types of emotions involved, and people don't usually think clearly with emotional. People don't know how to control their emotions, their reactions to their emotions. They just react. So sometimes you might get another person's perspective and say, damn, what could I have done differently to get a different reaction?
Okay. Look.
I have a question. I have a question now. So we were trying to say, hey, you're going to have your guy friend, and your dude needs to be okay with that, because that's what you're going to do. Now, what if your dude allows you to have your guy friends, but you somehow stumbled across that you speak to them about your relationship. And he says, hey, I don't appreciate you speaking to these guys about the issues in our relationship. You should come to me. What do you do? Is that okay for him to be mad about that?
That's okay. And I will make an attempt to come to him and talk to him. And if he can't, and if we still can't talk about it, then I'm gonna go back to the friend that I can talk to, that I can vent, that I can honestly vent to. Because a lot of times we all say we want honesty, but we don't. And again, I just recently had that situation where I'm like, yo, hear me out. Let me honestly tell you why I'm reacting to you this way. And then when I honestly told him, he was just like, he still didn't understand it. It took a minute for him for it to sink in, and then he was like, damn, I ain't look at it that way. I know you didn't, but you don't never fucking want to listen to what I have to say. It's all about your perspective, how you interpret it. This is why she's reacting like this, and don't give me a chance to be straight up honest with you. And it goes both ways. Women, we say we want honesty, we really don't. A lot of times our feelings get
Trust me, I know that. You ain't got to tell me, I know that for a fact.
But you might not like it, but I can respect it. I might not like it, but I can respect it. If you honest with me, I can respect it. Period, point blank. But at the end of the day, it's because you can't honestly tell that person what you want to say or how you feel.
Hey, look, honestly though, and this is me personally, if I can't do that, they're gone. They're out of here. I ain't got time for that.
I would agree.
The fact that you need to do that, come on. They got to go and fees in the door, huh? Okay.
Right, so what if you in a situation and, okay, so let me ask this. So, what if you're in a situation where, because you're saying you can't be honest with that person. What if you have sex with a girl and her shit is just whack? Are you just going to tell her it's whack right then and there?
Yep. Hell yeah. Oh my God. Do you know how many times that occurred? Bitch, your pussy whack, your head game is whack, everything about you is whack. Hell yeah. You tell that bitch to be happy about.
Look, one time she was bragging about, I get the best head because, guys do lie about it, right? They're like, oh yeah, the head is dope. So she was bragging about it. So I was expecting the amazingness, right? She was whack. And she was like, yeah, how was it? And I was like, it was whack. And she was like, nah, you're whack. What are you talking about? And I was like, well, then get the fuck out of my house. I just gotta go, man. I ain't got time for that shit.
What if she tell you that you whack?
That's fine.
Okay, well. hey. So, first of all, of course not. Why would I be mad about that? I'm all about improvement. And, if she says I like it, but first of all, she should go and say a little to the left, a little to the right. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and got it, motherfucker. I'm a follow. You can go and leave real quick, but I'm gonna show you some new shit later. You know what I mean? But look, I ain't got time for that. Of course, I don't care about that. I am so insensitive to everything. People can tell me whatever they want about me. I don't care. But if it's bad, well, I want to be good. So I'm gonna look out for you. I don't care. I'm not emotional like, oh, wasn't good. Highlights is over. I'm like, oh shit, it wasn't. Yeah, you better get it next time.
I'm telling you was right because your wee-wee is little.
Oh, guess what?
What you gonna do?
Hey, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna come back with that motherfucking thunder tongue, girl. I'm about to have you motherfucking circles and this gonna put your toys out. Hey, look, I'm gonna fuck you with your toys. We gotta get it in. Don't talk to it. But hey, if it's that small, I'm putting the booty too because that's the say it's going in. But you could feel it then. You could feel it there.
Total honesty.
Hey, look. But see, I'll give it. You know, and they all know me. I give my 100%, so I expect it in return. You know what I'm saying? Like, I expect you to be honest with me. I'm actually mad when they lie to me. To spare my feelings. I don't have those. So don't spare my feelings. You know what I mean? Keep it 100 with me. I'm good with that. But like I told you earlier, I'm completely different than most people. So I'm a different case.
Tabernacle.
Because I do understand most people care about that. I actually understand that. People are sensitive. They don't want to hear bad things. They need positive reinforcement. I actually get trouble at work because I don't do that to people. You know what I mean? I don't give them positive reinforcement. I don't tell them when they're doing good because they know they're doing good. I tell when they're fucking up at. You know what I mean? You straight. But you're not good here. You're not good here. So, but
So find something that they're good at it and build off of that.
Well, no, because they're good at that. I'm gonna find something they're not good at and be like, look.
I mean, no. Take what they're good at. Again, what's your deal breakers? Because we talking about relationships, but
My deal breakers is 100%. 100%. You're not asking my deal breakers.
At the end of the day, we've been talking about all these different topics, and to me, what it all goes back to is people rushing to get to the finish line, not knowing who they're getting themselves involved with and committing to. I mean, it's one thing to date a person, but to commit to a relationship and then to take it as far as a marriage when you haven't went through anything with that person, you don't really know that person, you don't really trust that person, you got your own insecurities, you don't even really know yourself. These are all the things that cause relationships to go bad. Because at the end of the day, a lot of things that we have arguments about and run off to go be with somebody else because they filling in that little void of something that you think you're missing is so small, and it just be bullshit all the time that we make into big things that don't matter because we're striving for this perfection where we really don't even know what the fuck we want. Because at first this person was what we wanted, but now that's not what we want because we don't even know who the fuck we really are.
So if you don't know who you are, why are you wasting another motherfucker's time?
Because you gotta be yourself that you don't know who you are or really what you want.
I've been knowing who the fuck I am for a long time. So I don't know. I don't understand that because I've known who I am for a
the 20-year-old.
I've been here all my life. I know who I am.
Exactly.
20-year-old you is not gonna be the 30-year-old you, and the 30-year-old you is not gonna be the 40-year-old you. And if it is, that is a fucking problem because you're not growing.
No,
but you can't tell me what's going in a relationship at 20.
Growth does not mean you don't know who you are. You can know who you are and continue to grow and develop and mature other aspects of yourself. But knowing who you are,
it's not discovering yourself.
You can know who you are. If you don't know who you are by the time
knowing what you want,
26 years old, issues.
Knowing what you want.
Most people don't know what they want. Most people know what they don't want.
Don't focus on what you don't want. Focus on what you do want, because that's our problem. We focus so much on the negative that we don't even pay attention to the positive, and that's why relationships fail. You're looking for what you don't want. Quit looking for what the fuck you don't want. Look for what you do want.
Most people don't know what they want. You do realize most people don't know what they want. That's a fact. Like you're right. Most people do not know. Even in a relationship, most people go through a relationship and then they figure out, well, I don't want this and I don't want this. So they make sure the other person, that the new person, doesn't have those qualities. But they don't actually know what they want.
And then they discover something else that they don't want. Instead of focusing on what they do want.
I'm a proponent of the Kev theory. I want honesty. I'm huge on honesty. I don't give a fuck if I hurt your feelings, and you're damn for sure not gonna hurt mine, because whatever you say, I've heard it worse from a better motherfucker, and that's just the reality of the situation. So, when I'm asking you a question, and I'm talking about I need you to be honest, and you decide to pussyfoot around the bush, that's you. That's you being. I know what I want. When I'm saying, like you keep saying trust. I don't need to trust a motherfucker because trust is some blind, weird shit. That's what that is. Like, that's weirdo shit. No one is going to have total trust because anybody's capable of anything. But when I ask you, did you do something, I expect you to be honest. Because if you trusted a motherfucker, you wouldn't have those questions in your head anyway. So I want honesty. I don't give a fuck about trust. Trust is weird. Like, I can trust myself to walk across the street, but I still look both ways when I do it.
And see all that nonsense, but the problem though is, right, a lot of the time, even like, let's say a woman dates a guy, and he's kind of like me and D, right? He's just, I'm honest and I want in return. People are still so sensitive to how they would feel or other people's feelings, they still can't give people honesty. And that's an actual problem.
Right, and I have that problem. Like, I'm big on honesty, but sometimes it's hard for me to just get I feel like I want to just be like, I don't know, if I want to just say some real shit to you and I feel like it's going to hurt your feelings, I won't say it. Because I try not to say it. You know, I try to just say less.
Fuck all that.
Feelings, but
not me. They gotta go. I ain't got time to get hurt.
I mean, I agree with you, but I agree with you from both ends because I'm a person where I don't like my feelings to be hurt. I can respect the honesty, but it don't mean that it's not gonna hurt my feelings. But I can respect it. Yeah, I can. I would prefer it.
How about
give me the option?
How about you
whether I want to do it or don't.
How about that? That's a novel ass idea. Like you ask for honesty, the motherfucker be honest with you.
No, that's what I just said. Either you can. Right, because when a person is honest with you, it gives you a choice. You can choose to deal with it or not. When a person lies to you, they don't give you options. You force me into this situation because you are lying to me about stuff. If you honest with me, if you meet a chick, right, and you meet her and she's straight up like, yo, I mean, I'm just letting you know that I'm a whore. And you choose to say, that's cool. I'm cool with that. You're going to be mad when you find out that fuck X amount of niggas because she told you from the start that she was a whore and you had a choice. But if you meet
I'm going to be mad if she's a whore and her cousin is black.
Right?
oh, Lord.
Oh, my God. Like, you suck how many dicks are you still mad at it? What the fuck?
Like,
she's been sucking off niggas who ain't been honest with her. I mean, come on now. They just fake it. Whatever. Don't fake it. Just, if it ain't good, it ain't good. You know, but I'm just saying, at the end of the day, it just all goes back to getting to know a person before you hop into a commitment with a person. Because most of the time, we don't do that shit. You like somebody,
notice how the premise of the conversation wasn't necessarily commitment, just relationships in general. Because I'm talking about, like, from the beginning, like, from the start. Because you said you take a year to get to know a motherfucker. If I got to take a whole year and I've invested a year into you, you might be a little bit more than have your feelings hurt at the end of that. Like, because, like, you've wasted a lot of my fucking time. So your feelings are probably not even remotely important. Like, if there's a level of importance of feelings, your shit is probably holding up the rest of the stack.
It's not wasting time. You're getting to know a person.
No. That's a waste of my time. Listen, time is the one thing. Time is the one thing in the world you can't get back ever. If I'm talking, if I meet you, if I'm walking and I meet you and I say, hey, I like you, we should fuck, and then we fuck, and then you're whack. You wasted my time. I'm mad.
No, I didn't. You said you wanted to fuck me. You didn't take the stats first.
I'm pissed. I'm saying, like, time is...
How can you be pissed because you made a decision to fuck me when you just met me, you don't even know me. You look at me, you like what you see, the physical, so you decide to fuck me because looking good don't mean good pussy. So you wasted your own time. Because I didn't tell you to want to fuck me just because I look good.
But see, if you know your pussy is whack, you should just be like, nah, my pussy's whack.
How would I know that? I don't know what you need to like to know.
You know how many motherfuckers you look
like or not.
You look.
Now how would I know what you like? Because
listen, I'm not talking about what somebody likes. Listen, I ain't talking about what somebody likes. You can like a whole wide slew of things. I'm talking about if we're fucking and it's like, you know what, bitch, you suck at life. Like you shouldn't exist. You are taking up space. Other motherfuckers are dying right now.
What makes good pussy versus bad pussy?
What's good pussy versus bad pussy?
Let's talk about that.
You don't want to talk about good pussy versus bad pussy. Not with me.
I do. I want to know. If you saying you should know that your pussy is whack, how? How will we know? How? Tell us what good versus bad is.
Why would you not know if your shit was whack?
How could you know?
How would you not?
What?
How many complaints? Okay, listen. I've been around the world a couple times, right? There's not many complaints to be levied against me. So if you're old, if you're grown, how many complaints have you had? How many compliments have you had?
I don't know how many crazy niggas just came to fucking me. So I don't know if I just choose crazy niggas or the pussy just that crazy. Now I don't know what that means exactly, but I've never had a complaint, so to speak. But that don't mean that to somebody else my shit might not be whack. So what makes
listen. I'm not saying you're a boring fuck. I'm saying you're whack. There's a difference in the two.
What does that mean?
Well, I guess you don't. Kev, do you know what it means? Don't answer, just yes or no. Do you know what it means?
Yeah.
Mookie, do you know what it means?
Hey, tell us what it means.
Pause. Mookie, do you know what it means?
Yes.
Okay, listen. Obviously, it's a dick thing, and you don't have to know. So, this is how it works. If you have whack,
we have to know, so we can know.
Whack pussy and boring pussy is two different things. Whack pussy is just whack pussy. Boring pussy can be worked with. Boring pussy could be taught how to do other things. Boring pussy can made to be fun pussy depending upon how open you are to new ideas. Whack pussy is just whack pussy. That's just how
so you mean it's not tight enough, it's not wet enough.
Well, I've never had a problem with nothing. Listen, I've never had a problem with nothing being tight enough. So I don't know how that works.
Right, so how can you say something is whack? I don't know. I'm confused.
No, listen, your mentality is entirely focused on the physical aspect of the hole, and donuts have holes, so bitches ain't important in that reality. Like, just so you know, like if I really just wanted to get a nut off, I have two hands, and I could do that infinitely better than every bitch on this planet. Like, I know what I like. So what I'm saying is, if you're boring, you can be worked with. But if you just got some whack ass pussy, like your shit is just whack. We know what it means. Men know what it means because clearly you're on the phone with three men who outright said we know the difference. Just like if you were some whack dick. Like whack dick doesn't have to be dude got a little dick, doesn't have to be like dude got a big dick. None of that. If it's whack, it's just whack. Now boring is a whole other thing because you can teach a motherfucker how to properly fuck you. And if you can't, you need to reevaluate your own self because that means you out here fucking for no reason.
I can tell you what whack this is off the top. I don't have to be saying something I know what whack is and can't tell you what it is. I can tell you what whack is, what I think whack is from a woman's perspective as it pertains to men and sex.
Well, we don't.
You just got some whack ass dick. If it's too little, if it don't stay hard, if you come fast as fuck, that's all whack shit that can't be worked with. But if you just don't know how to stroke me right, then I might be able to tell you that. If you got the package and you open to constructive criticism. But if your dick is little, or can't get hard, or don't stay hard, then you just whack. And I feel sorry for you. I'm sorry.
You sound like you went through some personal shit that I don't want to know about.
No. I can't. Fortunately, I can pretty much say that I've never really had nothing like that before. But I'm just saying that that's what will constitute whack to me. You feel me? That's what I'm saying.
Well, I'll say this. That is not how whack pussy works. Because at the end of the day, I don't think there's ever been a bitch on the planet that I've intended on fucking that didn't get wet. So it's not like the pussy don't get wet. It ain't none of that shit. Because that means I'm doing my job.
You gotta stay wet.
Like, I'm doing my job. So I know, like, it's gonna be wet. Like, I'm good with that. Like, we're not gonna, that's not real. So your concept of whack dick may speak to some other whole shit. Just so you know. I get your little dick thing, like, that's great, like, whatever. But if you really like dude, you should teach him how to tongue box the fuck out of you. But, you know, whatever. What fucking ever.
Yeah, I'm not sure I can live with not being sexually satisfied. I couldn't commit to that. That's just me. I'm just saying. I mean, again, you gotta know your deal breakers. If I commit to that, then I cheat on you. Then why did I even commit to that when I knew I wasn't satisfied in the beginning? Because even teaching somebody how to eat, so what if he eats the pussy good? It don't matter. I want some good penetration. I want to be fucked. And you cannot do that for me. So that means that although you might be able to eat my pussy real good, I'm gonna be looking for somebody else to be able to fuck the shit out of me, and you can't. And that's not even fair to you for me to commit to some shit that I know I can't tolerate.
Okay, listen. I just had this epiphany, right? This was an epiphany. If dude drops trowel and his dick is little, why would you know it's whack? That means you still fucked him.
I'm not gonna fuck you if you got a little dick.
So you wouldn't know if it's whack.
I'm gonna make it so nigga so nigga.
That's true because you know your two spots not that far inside. So I mean, in theory, you can still hit that.
You said what?
Your two spots not that far inside. So in theory, unless you got 2 inches, he can hit it. If you got 2 inches or less, he can hit it. But if he got 2.5 to 3, he can hit the sweet spot. So you can still come. So you don't know if it's whack. You're just assuming that it's gonna be whack because it's big a little.
Yeah, taking an assumption. Yeah. Again, I said I've never had those type of experiences in the States.
Because I'm sure now, I can make it come with my fingers, and my fingers are little. You know what I'm saying? So.
Right, but I mean, yeah, you could. I understand it.
I mean, you put that. I was sitting here like, wait, I was going over it in my head. I'm like, wait a minute. To say whack dick means little dick means you had to have had a little dick, which ultimately translates to you.
I haven't.
Well, okay, I don't know. Like, I don't take dick. I don't know.
I understand one more like, yeah.
Okay, now back to this. Not okay. You said whack dick constitutes not getting or staying hard. Personally, if a bitch is about her A game, we not gonna have this problem at all. So could that speak to you?
Some people have a health condition where they just can't do it. I'm sorry. I don't know how to do it, whatever. Some people really have a health condition, and you really have that problem and you're not going to work out.
So now you're saying he got a health condition means he got whack dick.
I'm just saying. What the fuck?
That's what you said it. I'm trying to understand. You said if it's little and if he can't get hard or stay hard. That's what you said. So I'm clarifying. I'm trying to understand because at the end of the day, when we said we understand, listen, we said we understand exactly what whack pussy is, and it has nothing to do with just the physical. You named some physical shit, but now you're backing off your square on all of them.
I'm not backing off for nothing.
Okay, so how would you know little dick dude is whack dick dude? See, it doesn't work. If you haven't had it, you can't say it's whack. He might be the dude.
Listen.
The head of his dick might rub your spots perfectly. And you have no idea because you fucking around with all these other motherfuckers. You might want to look for little Tommy.
He might get you right.
Now the health fuck up. I'm like, okay, yeah, bro, you right about that. But you said if it can't get hard or stay hard, then he's whack. And if it's not a health issue, you have to assume there's some other issues. But if it is a health issue, you're now saying everybody that got health issues that dick can't get hard, they just give out whack dick. I don't know. I want to understand. Yep. Okay. Moving on. What's next, Kev?
I'm sorry.
What you got, Kev? What you got, Moot? What you got, Gabby? Somebody, help me out. Mookie's done.
No, I'm here.
Yeah,
I'm here.
Yeah, like
it was a lot of stuff talked about, and in the end, I don't even think we even really resolved nothing.
Nothing was intended to get resolved because, except for the cheating thing, because clearly I'm correct and everyone else is wrong. At the end of the day, it was all about having the opposition speak on the opposition's behalf because we're constantly talking about women and never have a woman to defend why women do the idiotic, irrational shit they do. at all. So, I mean, at the end of the day,
y'all don't put
what, we don't do what?
Put ourselves in our perspective, and at the end of that, people just rush into shit. So really, man, you have a failed relationship, you gotta start taking a look at yourself on shit. Because, I mean,
see, we're not talking about failed relationships, though. We're talking about the shit that happens in relationships and people stay in them. Like, even some of your complaints, you literally said, I'm still here. Like, even in giving your examples, right, not your personal relationship, but in your examples, you were saying you're still in the relationship. Where we're saying, fuck that. That bitch got to go. And we're trying to understand how that works and why is that the case?
But you should though. So if you thinking you meet a person, you thinking they one way, and then it turns out a year later that's not who they are, and you say, yo, I can't be with you, you should. Don't drag the shit out. Break up with me now. My feelings might be hurt. So what? I'll get over it. But don't let 4, 5, 6 years go by thinking that some shit gonna change, because it's probably not. So yes, I think that if you notice some inconsistencies at a year or whatever time that you notice it, and you like, okay, first try to talk about it. That don't work, okay. Don't shit change, then it's time to walk away. Just know that when you get with the next person, it's gonna be something about them that you don't like as well.
All right, so for everybody who ever listens to this podcast, understand, Shelly is saying that fuck you, we can get rid of you at any stage. From the 1 day mark all the way to the 6 year mark.
That's your choice.
No. We're saying, you're saying for women that they need to unfuck themselves or they can get kicked to the curb.
I'm saying that is your choice. No. You're not listening to everything I'm saying. I said that when you make that decision, please understand that when you get with the next woman, it's gonna be the same shit. So please focus on yourself.
So are you saying all women are the same at that point?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
So why do you think it's gonna be the same shit?
It might not be the very same scenario. This woman might have been cooking for you every day, and then after a year into the relationship, she stopped cooking, and then you be like, fuck this bitch, she was cooking for me every day, now she ain't cooking. Then you move on to the next bitch, this bitch was fucking you all the time, then after a year, she stopped fucking you all the time, but she still cooks for you every day, so now you done left the bitch that was fucking you that wasn't cooking for you, for the bitch that's cooking for you but not fucking you. So what I'm saying is, it might not be the same thing, but don't look for perfection. Because if you find that one inconsistency and decide to walk away, please walk away from me, because you're going to look back and be like, damn, man, she wasn't that bad after all. That's what I'm saying. So focus on your deal breakers versus the itty-bitty small shit. If you do that, you're going to keep finding yourself dealing with somebody and getting rid of them, dealing with somebody and getting rid of them, dealing with somebody. Because everybody's going to have something about them that you don't like. So either figure out what you can deal with versus what you cannot deal with and deal with it, or just keep bouncing from person to person. Shit, that's on you. Because that's what's going to happen until you eventually just decide to tolerate somebody and they bullshit.
But see, that means you're...
Well, no matter what, you're going to get bullshit.
Oh, so now you're saying
some point or another.
They're all bullshit. I don't know, man. I'm just so lost here.
Some point I said you're going to get bullshit. I ain't saying that they are bullshit. At some point or another, you're going to get bullshit. So, for myself, right, I can say I'm loyal, I'm honest, I'm trustworthy, I ride it out for you, but sometimes I can think more emotional than logic, and that could be annoying. Sometimes I can jump to conclusions about shit, and that could be annoying. I know what my flaws are, but what a guy has to ask himself is, do I want to focus on, and then sometimes I can be controlling, like, yo, I want you to do this, that, and expect it to be done, and then when it don't get done, I'm a brat. Let's just break it down to that. I'm a brat. So, would you rather deal with the bratty girl, or would you rather deal with the unloyal, bitch who is not bratty. You gotta make that choice is what I'm saying. So everybody's gonna have some type of flaw and you're gonna get some type of bullshit no matter who you deal with. What bullshit do you want to deal with is what you have to ask yourself.
Okay, you just...
Some guys might just be like, this bitch is a brat. I can't deal with this shit. Like, I cannot deal with her and this bratty ass bullshit.
You just said you know your flaws, and then before that you said people need to check their self. So how come you not checking yourself and working on your flaws?
I do. But it's a work in progress. It's hard. And I try my best to do that. Because I know what my flaws are.
That's what's up. All right. That's what's up.
But it's not going to change overnight.
Well, it needs to or you got to go.
Clearly.
Oh, shit. All right, y'all. It's been real. This is No Filter. We will be back next week on Tuesday to give y'all some more hate and discontent. All right. Yeah.